Hey guys, so after a long pause when it comes to my video series and slash podcast, I'm coming back, I believe stronger than ever and with more purpose than ever when it comes to sharing with you wisdom, sharing with you um, some tools and points of view and mind shifts might help you to truly go after what you want in life. And how I'm gonna start? First, I'm gonna explain you what's the twist I got decided to do when it comes to my video series. The twist is very important for me, and it's coming in the direction in my goal from now on. And it's always this goal was always there, but I'm just pushing way more, putting more emphasis on that. So this space here is gonna be to discuss, to talk about, to inspire people to follow their heart desires and follow them bravely and unapologetically. Be themselves fully in this journey. Why I am so excited about that and why I believe that is something which we need to pay more attention. I'm gonna tell you why, and again I'm gonna share with you a little bit of my story. So I'm working with people for the last 10 years professionally, and in this, what I see is I see many successful people. When I say success, let's say this is money, power, positions, relationships, whatever. And I see many of these people who are not happy and they are not fulfilled in their life. And the reason for that is because these people followed the route of creating wealth without asking themselves deeply, is that what they want to do? And even though they could do that, I always say that on muscles, what is happening is at some point, this control just falls down and they cannot actually continue. And it goes against their health, against their relationships, and against their fulfillment. And I see myself as someone who wants to really help everyone who is interested in this, how actually we can combine wealth with fulfillment. And the first episode which you're gonna have today is gonna be about me and my journey, and then every single Monday you're gonna hear an interview which I'm gonna do with someone who is gonna share for their opinion, uh, in their opinion, how they went through all of this journey. And the people I'm gonna invite are people I believe are following their heart desires. They're connected to them, they follow them, and they've been through already a lot of the challenges which actually stayed on the way for them to follow them. So I'm gonna start with my story, and how actually I came to this moment is because very early in my childhood I knew what I love, and that was singing, and I was singing until I was something like third or fourth grade, and I was really happy with that. But somewhere there, I decided and I intentionally used the word decided to stop that. Why? Because I thought that the society wouldn't accept me and love me with my desire and my talent of singing. So even though I was happy, I had friends, I was doing what I loved, I decided that I have to do that. And after that, there were like 10 years of my life where I would say that were the dark years for me. Not that good things didn't happen there, but generally inside of me there was a lot of pain, a lot of emptiness, and the emptiness became more and more the more years I went by, because I didn't know what is going on there. And I'm super grateful and happy that I was introduced to the idea of personal growth, which was 15 years ago when I really started re exploring who I am and what I love in life. And I know the difference when you do things for the society and when you do things for yourself and your own heart, and you're following that, how big of a difference is for you when it comes to your fulfillment, your motivation, your happiness, and everything else. And I deeply believe that when you do that, you are really creating a space around you, which also helps other people to do it. And that's my goal, as I said, with that here. I just wanted to say several points in my life when I actually um, realized how important it is to follow your heart. And as I said, after I came back to personal growth, um, I just felt alive for the first time in these 10 years before that. And I didn't know that back there why is that, but now when I come back, I see that because even though with small steps, I was taking actually some steps towards really being curious about what I really want in life. In this point in my career, in my life, I I tried almost everything. I was really absolutely aware of how I feel about the different things, and I focused on intentionally on doing that in my 20s. And even though I was not creating the money and the fame and the power which other of my mates did at that point, uh, what I I knew at this time was that this is what I supposed to do, so that at some point when I come back and know actually who I am and what I want really to do, then I can create everything else way easily and with more fulfillment, as I said. So so different different things which I'm gonna share here with the topics, the subtopics we are gonna focus on, they're gonna help us to truly see the picture which I have created in my life. I just remember when I was at some point in my career when I was appointed to become a sales manager in a company here in Bulgaria. I was just 20, maybe 3, 4 years old, something like that. And I was working for a year or something for this company, and I really surpassed the sales of other, offices in this company, and I was appointed that position. Um, I I decided to take the position, and I was going towards really creating a great performance in that position. What happened actually was that um, I decided to not continue with that because that was not me, and I knew that this was not me, even though that position was promising a lot of success for me, money and power, as I said, and everything else which everyone wants at that point. I knew that this is not me, and I decided to go to Denmark for just working part time as a dishwasher and looking um, my into my myself and what I really want to do. And um, many people thought that this is crazy, but I just believe that this is the important thing which I do. And it was really hard for these several years to find out who I am and what I want, but I knew that this is the right thing to do. Why I'm saying that is because some of you who are here, maybe you are just more in the beginning of this journey, and if you do these things a little bit earlier, it's gonna be way easier for you and not necessary to go through a lot of struggles to come back. And other people who are truly uh, into this track of maybe you're 30, 35 and you feel this miserable feeling and emptiness inside, I'm gonna tell you that for sure this is the problem, because you lost track of who you are. And this, when you lose this track, you start feeling the emptiness, and the emptiness is not real emptiness, it's just you are missing this connection with your yourself fully, this connection with what you really want and why actually you're doing things, and you connect more with the means to create it, not with you and with your heart. And many people, when they come to me and say, okay, I don't feel connection, I don't want to do things in life, Why is that? I'm young, and that's the reason. And what you need to do is just come back and do this. Some of the things we say here, but also focusing on yourself fully and creating it again. That's the thing. If you create more money, more fame, great better job, better relationship, more beautiful woman, more beautiful man, whatever, what you're looking after, you're not gonna get it because this is not actually the problem you're curing. So now I'm gonna speak about the second part of what we want to speak today, and this is actually, how do you know that something which you are after is coming from your heart or is coming from your head? That's an interesting question, right? Because many people would ask that. Why and how? So I'm gonna give you now the two. First of all, what is mind for me, what is heart for me, and how actually you can explore them to understand what to listen to when it comes to this connection. Mind, uh, its purpose is to actually help us survive in this world. And how mind does that is just understanding what is needed from the society and then trying to, in some way, find a way to become valuable for the society, so the society accepts, loves you, and then you just go um, and you feel secure that everything will be all right. And yes, this was very important before, and now also in a way uh, that creates a lot of discrepancy, because then I'm gonna tell you about his heart. In my opinion, heart, in my opinion, don't speak here about the physical heart. I speak about this deep knowing inside of you of actually why you're here, what is your purpose, what are your talents, your gifts, and this insatiable passion to actually express it in the world. And um, our job is to distinguish between these two and knowing what to go after. What I realized in my coaching practice, in my life, in what I've been through, is that actually heart uh, is it's a great north star. You know, heart is helps us to know where we it's important for us to go, and mind might help us to actually go with the nitty gritty details to make it happen. But the problem is when the roles reverse and actually mind becomes our North Star. Because when mind becomes North Star, we are doing things because of the society, because of our parents and authorities in life, and then we cannot actually get what we want from life, and we are not going in the direction which is our direction. And sooner or later, we understand that, and very often that's later when you actually cannot get out of the rut you have put yourself into. What I say that is like family, businesses, jobs, mortgages, and all of this, and it's so way harder for you to get out of that because you already have a lot of responsibilities put there. And if you have done that, that also is workable, and I'm working with people in that direction. But why not doing it before that? That's why I'm saying everyone who is doing, is in the beginning of this journey. That's a goal. If you hear it and start working on that. So how do you actually distinguish between mind and heart? Mind very often is very noisy in a way of chattering all the time in here, noisy in a way it creates these strong emotions like shame, like guilt, like fear, anger. All of this is mind. And I know that if something of what I'm feeling inside is connected to these emotions, this is mind. And as some of the time these emotions might be incredibly uh, mm, they can be beneficial in certain situations, most of the time, and especially when it comes to what to follow, they are not. Heart, on the other side, it's silent. It's very subtle. It's like you can hear it when you are really connected to your core, and it talks with this feeling of um, creativity and flow, as I said, and it's very gentle, but very, very clear what to do and where to go. So when I feel that I'm connected to this gentle energy from the inside, then I know that I'm connected to the heart. And when I know that, I create different ways in order to connect to the heart so that I know that I'm going in the direction I want to go. How do I do that? I do that with meditation, with mindfulness, and all of these kind of practices which help me to silence the mind so that I can hear the heart. And that's, I think, um, it's a great way to actually go after what you want, creating all of these practices. And I'm going to share something here about motivation. Motivation is a very, I think, overrated concept, because we said we need to be motivated to go after whatever. We need to find the motivation, and even sometimes people talk about discipline. I'm not against this concept, but what I know is that when I'm connected to the right things, the motivation and it just it's just coming. I don't need to create motivation, but the motivation is there because I know that this is what I want. I know that this is what I have to be after, and I just go after it. It's like when you're a child and you want to go to the seaside with your family and they say, let's go. You don't need motivation to go there because you know that this is what you want to do. The same thing is in life. So what I'm talking about is when you go deeper, connecting with that, all of this motivation, discipline things are not viable. They're not important for you because you already have everything you need. Then let's talk about the third thing which you're going to talk about today is fear. One of the things which stay on the way for us to hear this voice and to go after it is fear. And fear, as all of us know, that fear's purpose is actually to help us to go to escape from the things which might harm us, right? And again, this is a great way for us and a system in our body which was created so that we can do it faster, not be eaten from the predators before. But what is the problem is that with time, fear started coming in situations which we don't need it, and actually is going against what we need to do there. I'm giving you the idea of the fear, for example, from public speaking. You want to go and speak in front of people and you don't do it because you're afraid people are going to judge you. And in this way, fear actually sabotages you to do something you know can be very beneficial for you. And the reality is that many of the fears in our life right now are made up fears, and fears which actually we don't want to go, to escape from, because in this way we are going against actually what we want to do. And a lot of people who started the journey following their heart, they immediately stumble upon this fear. And the biggest fear they stumble upon, and that was the fear which I had many years, is if I am follow what I want, if I am this person, then people are not gonna accept me, they're gonna reject me, I'm not gonna be part of this society, these friends, this family, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be alone. And as I said, many years I've been after, I was chased by this fear, and that's why I was not going fully after my dreams. And throughout the time, first of all, I'm gonna tell you how this kind of fear can be overcome, and then how I did it. So fear, normal fear, which is viable, you have for example, a bear in front of you, the fear wants you to escape, and you find a way how to do that. That's a great way. But when it comes to the made up fears, like public speaking, like talking to a girl, like creating a whole life, then our approach should be exactly the opposite of that. So when we have this fear, we feel it, we don't run away, but we go towards it. And that's the hardest thing to do, right? Because it's counterintuitive. It's against the nature to actually, when you feel fear, to go against the thing, and then the fear disappears. But I assure you, when you do that, fear disappears. And I'm sure that all of you face the situations where when you when you had this kind of fear, you just you just you went towards it, and then fear disappeared, because fear is just an emotion. It's not something real. And for me, what I realized, and I want you to hear that truly, is that especially when it comes to people, if they are gonna reject me if I'm who I am, I realized that actually by trying to be someone else and trying to fulfill the society's need, uh, actually very often the result was that people were alienated by me because they felt that I'm fake, that I'm doing it not because of this is who I am, but because I want to receive approval and I want to fit in the society. And I love this quote which I learned from a course I went through, approval addiction course. Yeah, there are this kind of courses, and in this course, the lady who was there, she was actually um, saying that when you're not connected to your true nature, no one can recognize you. Literally, no one can recognize you because you're not yourself. And but when you're connected to your true self, your tribe will recognize you for sure. And that's the important part here. When you're connected to you, maybe many people are not gonna like you, but the people who are like you, people who actually want truly be with you, they are gonna recognize you for sure. And if the risk is that these other people wouldn't accept of me, that's not a big risk, because they anyways they're not gonna accept me. Yes, maybe for a while they can stay with me for some interest, but oh no, they're not gonna stay there. So by knowing that, it's like as gold. That was gold for me to understand that I need to be really connected to who I am and just follow it. And if other people don't like me, they don't like me anyway, right? Because sooner or later, you're gonna um, show who you are, and these people, anyways, they're gonna go. And one of the you know important ways to approach fear also, which I've noticed is very important, is to always ask yourself, what is the worst thing which might happen? Because there are very many different layers of fear. So there are fears which are, first, second, third layer. So you have a fear, below another fear, below another fear, and there is one fear on the bottom. And I'm just gonna use the example of Susan Jeffers, who wrote the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. She said actually that below every fear, the biggest fear of everyone is that you cannot handle it, right? So if you know that the biggest fear below any fear you have is that you cannot handle it, and you work with that fear, then you know that no matter what happens, you can handle it, and then you don't need to be so afraid of the thing which happen. The example is, for example, I'm afraid of public speaking because if I say something stupid, people will laugh at me. Okay, that's a legitimate fear. But if I know deeply that even if people laugh at me, people speak funny things about me, I can handle that. Yeah, I'm gonna feel a little bit of embarrassment and so on and so on, but later, sooner or later, I'm gonna handle it. Then you know deeply that, and then you go towards it no matter what. And you're okay that you're gonna feel some kind of tension from time to time in this journey. So I have so many other things to tell you about fear, but I'm gonna interview many people who are gonna speak about it. So these people, they're gonna share. I'm sure that they're gonna share a different points of view on that, and you're gonna learn so many tools when it comes to fear. But these things which I say, this was my way, and you know that most of the fear you have, they are made up. They are not real. That's incredibly important to know inside, and you can handle almost everything in the world now. So the fourth thing which I want to talk about is self-doubt. Guys, I would tell you that that was the biggest challenge I had in the journey of following my heart and connecting to it. Self-doubt. What is self-doubt? Self-doubt actually is a concept which we learned very early in our life, and this concept and that we are doubting what we know and we are doubting who we are is coming from a place that we wanted to gain to survive. And for us, we thought that other people, especially our parents, know more than us. That's why we decided to trust them, not ourselves. That's the beginning of the journey. And also, there are many beliefs that you need to doubt yourself, because if you believe too much, if you believe too much in yourself and you trust yourself a lot, you might actually be killed, or you might actually lose, and so on and so on. You're gonna be abandoned wherever. And their notion, I've heard many people who speak about this notion that actually you need to doubt yourself, because otherwise it's dangerous. Yes, if you I think when we speak about this concept of self-doubt, because this is a concept, again, it's not a given, it's not a law, it's a concept we believe in. Yes, if you it's good to doubt yourself that you can jump from 100 meters high and then you're not gonna die. Maybe that's a good, but there are not so many of these things. Most of the doubt, again, is coming from a place of it's better to not believe too much in myself, because in this way I know that I'm gonna survive and people like me, and so on and so on. So I'm gonna give you just one story from my life, how I actually, in the moment I couldn't realize it, but later I realized where it's coming from. When I was finishing my coaching practice 2015, I wanted to create my business, and I wanted to create a really very thriving practice, but I didn't know any idea how to do it, any zero. I was from a family, not entrepreneurs. They are working class people who are, they are very hardworking, but they didn't know how to actually create business. And on top of that, I was not, I wouldn't say, with a lot of people who had business at that point. And I'm finishing that, and I believe that I want to do that. And in the last day, I had this coaching session with different coaches there, and I started crying. I started crying like crazy, and I couldn't stop for 10-15 minutes to cry, and I didn't know why. I was just saying, I want to do it. It's my thing, and then I felt so much fear and so much doubt and so much, um, um, this kind of um, insecurity in myself, that I just started crying, and helplessness, I would say. And in the time after that, I had so many encounters when I remember one when I was with this conversation with a client, and he was just saying that I I lost his time and his money, and I had 6 months after that I didn't coach a single person. Even though more I think, I don't remember, at least 6 months when I didn't coach anyone, because I started believing that I am flawed and I'm not a good coach, and I have to learn more things to become a coach. And I have 3 4 more like this longer periods when I stopped doing it, because I believe that I'm incapable of helping people. So I'm saying all of this to explain to you and to just give you examples from my life. And I know so many examples from the life of my clients when they doubt themselves all the time, constantly, because of that. I'm gonna tell you this thing, guys. Self-doubt is good if saves your life, okay? But most of the time it's going against you and what you want in life. And you need to learn how to take care of it. And first of all, remove this belief that it's important to have self-doubt, because otherwise you too much believe in yourself. What is gonna happen there? Do you know what is gonna happen? You're gonna follow your heart and you're gonna create something beautiful in the world. That's what I believe. So how I overcome it, and I'm gonna talk a lot about this concept in the next point. I learned to trust myself fully. Trust and love myself fully. Because the antidote of self doubt is self trust. And once you learn how to trust yourself, that you are capable, that you can, that no matter what happens, you're gonna go after the thing, and you're not gonna stop doing it until you get it. I love Les Brown, one of the favorite motivational speaker I have. He was saying, "It's not done until I win. That's it. I'm gonna find a way to make it happen. I trust in myself. Yes, I'm gonna fail 100 times, but at the end, I'm gonna make it happen. You know? I have so many moments, even now, just self doubt is coming. It's like a guest I don't want, but it's there. And I'm accepting it, and I want to hear it. And sometimes it just says things which doesn't make sense, but I want to hear them so that I can show again myself that this thing wouldn't stay on my way. So, how actually I did that trust in me is by something I call radical self love. So, this is a concept I have created and something which I every single day work on so that actually at some point I increase the self trust which I have in myself and decrease the self doubt and also the fear. We've spoken about the fears and the self doubt. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this concept. We don't have so much time about it, but I'm going to just share with you some ideas around the concept of this. So why love and why radical self love? So first, I want to put away some things which people believe that love is. If you love yourself, it's very egotistical and you're just not thinking of other people. You're gonna be alone and so on and so on. That's actually the stupidest thing which I heard. I'm gonna tell you why. Because most of the people are big egoists because they don't love themselves. And do you know why? Because love is the biggest basic need we have, and if we cannot fulfill it ourselves, we are always going out there to looking for people to do that for us. For everything you do now, whoever is listening here, most certainly you're doing it in order to receive love, and or other to receive other to be fulfilled other basic needs you have, right? So but when you love yourself and learn how to love yourself properly, then you actually are fulfilling this thing for yourself, and then you don't need it from other people, so you are way more eager to help other people and to serve them. So I would say that loving yourself actually diminishes and even extinguishes egoism. And that's what is the most important thing to understand in this moment, And a lot of people say, but I'm gonna become narcissistic if I love myself. Guys, narcissists hate themselves. They don't love themselves. Their strategy to deal with this hate is by being grandiose and saying that they're great, that people love them, but that's just a strategy. Below that, believe me, there is a lot of self-hate, and that's why they want to get it always from other people. But really, people who really love themselves, they're humble, they're lovable, they're helpful, and they don't need anything from other people. So that's the first thing about love. The second thing is love and fear. Actually, they are exactly the opposite. So when you love, you cannot fear. And actually, this way you immediately go against the fear and overcome it. And very important here, you overcome exactly the fear which we want, and this is the made-up fears which were created from our society. So self-love is I think the concept which definitely can do that. And another thing which is very important is that love is when you love, you're weak. So here I want to really clarify that we don't speak about falling in love thing. Falling in love, in my opinion, it's completely different thing. And falling in love is not love. Falling in love, when you love someone in that way, or you call it love, it's like kind of really dependence on that person that they're gonna fulfill some need you have, and that's not love. And here we speak about real, brotherly, clear, and very saint love you have towards yourself and other people. And this is one of the strongest quality you can have for yourself. Love is incredibly strong. Think about things which are connected to love. Part of love, and what I'm talking about, the radical self-love, is self-compassion, self-appreciation, self-forgiveness. You are learning all of these concepts, and when people learn them and master these things, they actually become incredibly strong. And the word I think I want to use is resilient, because when life come and put you down, and it's gonna do that, when you know how to love yourself, you can get up on track way faster than if you hate or criticizing yourself, because criticism puts even more weight on that. So love actually holds you whenever you're down, and also love inspires you when you're up. And all of these concepts which I'm talking about here, they are way more in depth, worked when I work with clients. But just I want you to feel and hear what I'm talking about, and to just beat up this kind of chatter we have sometimes in our head about these concepts. We talk about completely different concept than falling in love here, and also uh, the radical self-love idea actually helps you to increase your self-worth. Do you know why? Because when you love yourself in the way I'm talking about, you're holding yourself in hard moments, which doesn't diminish your self-worth, and all the time appreciate yourself for your strengths, which actually increase even more that. But this self-worth is not like fake, it's real, because we are approaching the person from a place of objectivity, and we are focusing our attention on the good things. So what I found for myself, that helps me tremendously in my life, in everything I do, and I really, really believe that this is gonna help you guys. So this is my tool. These are my tools. This is the key actually for me to follow my heart, to go after what I want, not stop in front of anything in order to get it. And believe me, I'm gonna just repeat that. Many times in my life I've been down, many times. But I'm gonna tell you, with this key, the time to get up right now is most of the time seconds, sometimes minutes, and very rarely days. So so it's like a miracle which we can face every single day and learn how to master it. So I'm really happy that we had conversation today with all of you. I really thank you for everyone who's been through this talk through all the time, or really just part of it. And from next week, I'm gonna bring you someone who is amazing, who follows his heart, who really loves his life, and he doesn't stop in front of anything in order to get it. So thank you again, and really talk to you very soon.